the, I don't know if it's a standard or not, but it's a standard for me anyway. I start with 7 inches of 3/8 round stock.
7 inches of 3/8 round stock.
Yep. And then so you just, if I can get it turned around here, bend it in. I still need to kind of straighten those out a little bit, drive that one down just a little. It's nice if you can get the ends the same, and you want to separate them, I don't know, something that looks about right for a chain link, maybe 1.5 or 1.25 inches, something like that, so is good enough. So we'll get another heat on that bend, and I'll bring that one side around just a little bit more. You can do all this work on the Bic if you're handy that way. Me, I like a bending fork. It's a little easier for me to do with one hand. Pardon me? Yeah, exactly. Little more controlled. We're going to be doing some welding later, so want to make sure you keep plenty of coal up on top of your fire. You want to convert that coal into coke. You need a nice clean fire if you're going to be welding. It's also a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun forging in a nice clean fire than it is one that's all full of clinkers and junk and dirt and stuff like that. So keep your fire clean. I haven't forged in so long, I'm kind of wondering if I remember how here. Your forge has a nice blast, Larry. All right, so our link is closed up just a little bit there, but that's okay. We don't really need to worry about that right now. So we got the two ends where they're pretty close to being equal. It's always good to have a nice pair of chain nose pliers.
Did you make those?
They're old tongs that I repurposed.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to do is scarf the ends of that.
There's some artwork back in the back of that other room.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, my other right. Here we go. So at the back of the forge back here, I got a little bit of coke that someone was kind enough to leave me from whoever used it before. So I'm kind of reserving that coke in case I get in the middle of welding and I the fire hollows out, then I can grab a little coke from the back of the forge and not have to worry about dragging green coal into my fire.
That will lower the temperature.
What's that now?
That will lower the temperature. Or
Yeah, just it just makes it hard to see into the fire.
Also can put acid and crap on your material.
Oh, okay.
And when you're welding cooking.
See if I can remember how to get on my bending fork here. I think if you go to YouTube. Oh, Bill, I did that wrong, didn't I?
Bring it up, please.
Yeah, we'll get a little more heat in it. You get on YouTube, Mark Asprey does a really nice video on YouTube about making chain links. Hopefully, pardon me? Asprey. Yep.
He's in shape. Yeah. He's not.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's down.
Oh yeah.
He's climbing mountains and all that stuff. What you need?
Well, I need to straighten this out.
There you go.
We'll just do it like this. Oop, get on there. That's why.
I thought you were going to do a Bob Patrick there.
No.
Without a scarf.
No, I forgot to make the scarf.
I watched him weld 2 half-inch bars together, and he scarfed them and welded them at the same time.
Yes.
I was like, really? And he goes, well, you know, sometimes you're in a hurry. Yeah.
Right, Bob. So keep your tongs quenched off. You don't want to ruin your tongs, so keep them cooled off when they're sitting in the fire like this. What I'm going to do is, or at least attempt to do, when you come out, you want to set the end at about a 45-degree angle, and then as you hammer that down, and as you hammer it down, you bring this around that way, and that kind of puts a little 45-degree scarf on there. You'll see how it lines up here in a minute.
You want a sharper edge.
That would be great. Beautiful. You need a nice square corner if you can find one. So, pardon me?
We need one.
Yeah. There you go.
I can't visualize what you're trying to do. Excited to see it.
Wait, you'll see it.
Yeah.
He's going to make a scarf. That means that you flatten the piece down.
Allegedly, I'm going to make a scarf. We'll see how I do. Oh, come on, hand. All right, so we'll start at a 45-degree here. If I can hold it on there. Woo! Yeah, no, damn it, there went my link. All right. Yeah, that's all right. I used to work with a guy, he gave me trouble all the time. His favorite saying was, hire the handicap because we're fun to watch. Yeah, he was a good guy. He knew I wasn't bothered by stuff like that, so. Yeah, he was fun to work around. I didn't take it as an insult.
I can't hear, so I can move the end over.
Oh, it's all right.
Excellent, Robbie.
All right, let's see if I can get a little bit more control this time. Oh, come on, Matt. A little better. I really need more heat. All right, so you kind of get the idea of what we're going for there. You start out here, and as you come around like this, you give that feather out the edge on that scarf. It may take me a few heats to get it here, so.
So basically, just like what you're doing, is just like taking a root path where you go through pricing.
Kind of, sorta.
Valid.
The thing about forge welding is, so you try to get whatever shape it is you're going for.
Right.
You want to try to make a scarf that once you get the weld done,
Right.
you're done. So it's not good to be. I mean, you can forge a forge weld. You can, draw it out and do things like that, but you have to keep it at a welding heat to do that. So it's much better when you make your forge weld. You get the scarf the way you want it to be. The two scarves come together.
Right.
You get flex in there and you weld it, and that's where it stays.
So
That's
you want to go for half of the profile,
yeah.
half of the cross section. So when they go together, you don't have to do any more changing of the cross section.
Well, you need a little bit of material, especially like we were doing. If we were doing this, kind of gives you a little bit of an upset as you go, because you're gonna lay that material over itself, so it's going to be thicker anyway, and then you're gonna draw all that down. You want the forge weld to have a little bit of material on it, so that once you get everything welded, then you can finish back to whatever the finished size of that bar is. So you want to have a little extra meat there. Hey, we could talk Bill into doing a lap weld. He's ignoring me over there because he knows I'm signing him up for something. All right, so we'll finish this scarf, hopefully. So, got a new hand here, and I'm still getting used to it.
They have new technology.
Yep. It's wonderful technology, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like a real hand.
Well, it's like getting a new phone. Damn it, how do I make it do that?
All right.
The realism of it is that people that have.
All right, that's not exact. That's close to what we want. I should take that back a little bit more. I'm probably just going to go with it the way it is. Okay? So you start out like this, and then gradually come around like that. Okay? If you got two good hands, it's much easier to do. All right?
It looks like a katana, or
Yeah, it's just you kind of want that little dog ear going out there at a 45-degree angle.
that's a scarf. SCAR.
And hopefully, is it too late to start the camera over again?
Oh, we can edit it all out.
Put the scarf on the wrong side. So, you might want to pause your camera while I repair. Make sure this makes sense. We're back around to the point where we're still, we're going to start here and go back around that way. And if that don't work, we'll fix it yet again.
And that bike has been great. Because people out in these spaces,
Okay.
well, you have to go spaces.
So the thin end
goes.
matches the fatter end on the other end. Back and forth like that.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get it made here correctly. My scarf is not as nice as it should be, but that's okay.
Yeah. So if it's not as clean, it's just harder for them to melt together.
No, it just like I was saying before, you want your scarves to fit together so that once you make the weld, you're all done forging. My scarf's kind of thick, so I'm going to end up doing some forging on the weld.
You have to clean it.
Well, just to make it look nice and get it back to the right size.
Yeah.
And so, and if my weld's not good, there's the chance that you can drive the weld apart, cause the weld to fail by forging it.
It's a good test of the weld, man.
Say again?
It's a good test of the weld.
Oh, it is. Generally, you don't want to forge a weld if you don't have to. Like if you're doing a lap joint on tong rings, then you're going to have to dress that back because it's going to be the wrong thickness. All right, let's see if I can get this correct this time. Oh man, I need a hammer. Excuse me, Mr. Cameraman. See if I can do this. Golly, I'm so out of practice. All right, we'll get a little more heat here.
That's a half on, half.
Kind of a flux snob. I think I've tried about every kind of flux there is. All right. Oh, come on, Matt, hold still. There we go.
Yeah,
That's more what I was looking for the first time. Except, okay, we're going to weld this baby anyway. And we'll see what happens. Even though I tried to correct my earlier mistake, it's still,
The both ears are to the interior. Yeah, they're straight.
both the dog ears point in. One's on the bottom and one's on the top.
When he bends that in,
Or the opposite. Or you
right where it takes to go around. We're going to be in the corner of it.
This is where we're headed. That's the one that Bill did. I was at one of Bob's demos. Bob Patrick, I was at one of his demos. I don't remember which one. But Bob said that, come on, hand, close. Bob said that in England, there used to be all kinds of cottage industries, and making chain was one of them. And there would be families that all they did was make chain.
Wow.
And so the whole family would be involved with making the chain. Same kind of thing happened with gun locks and things like that. They were all done. There might be a guy, all he would do is just make the side plate, and then other guys would make all the other parts. Okay, finally I'm back on track here, and this is what we're looking for. The dog ears are on opposite sides, both pointing in. Can feel my tongues getting hot, so All right, so sorry. All right, so that's what we're looking for. You can see those two dog ears are laying back over the main part of the bar on opposite sides. So I don't know how the camera can see that. I'll just give it a little beauty rotation here. So,
Yep.
All right. So does that make the scarves a little bit more, you can see how they fit together. And you can also see that it's bigger than my 3/8 round stock. So, okay. So we'll get a little heat in this and then we'll be ready to weld that. So no more cussing. All right, so this is a flux called, I'll flip that around and brand my forearm if I'm not careful. This is called Crescent. And like most welding flux, the bigger the blob, the better the job. Try to get a little bit in the end here.
Trying to get it on the inside?
As much as I can. What will happen is the flux will melt and it'll flow into the
Right.
Yeah, and the steel's a little bit cool right now, so I'll have to kind of baby this a little bit. What I don't want to do is knock all that flux off that I just so carefully put on there. I've got some Iron Mountain flux here too. We can try that later. Superior Flux Company. I assume they're still making flux, but they make Crescent and they make Easy Weld. The only difference between Crescent and Easy Weld is that Crescent doesn't have metal filings in it, but Easy Weld does. Has iron filings in it. And like if you're doing a lap weld where you're gonna bring two pieces out and weld them on the anvil, and they're separate. The metal filings make it so they don't skip and slide off one another so easy. But in this instance, the other problem with the iron filings is when you get done with the weld, you have to go back and clean that up. And so since I was doing a chain link and both ends are captive and there's no issue of it scooting around and stuff like that, especially in my condition here, since it's all captive and together, I can use the Crescent and then I don't have to go back and finish it.
Now, what I see, using borax.
Yep, that'll work too. Yep. I like the regular forge welding flexes a little better than borax. Borax kind of has that, and for a chain link, it's fine, or any other weld where the pieces are held captive. But the borax, in my experience, is slick. So when you go to do a lap weld, everything wants to slide apart.
Some people throw what? Iron filings in it?
Yeah, that's what Easy Weld has in its iron filings.
It helps it not slide.
Right. But you have all those little pieces of iron filings on the outside of your weld when you get done. And if you want it to be pretty, you have to go back and finish all that up. The Crescent welding compound's the exact same stuff, but without the metal filings. So it's easier to finish. All right. So I'm going to take this out. The flux is mostly melted. I'm going to, flux is like pixie dust. The more you put on there, I'm just kidding. But make sure I got plenty of flux in here because I don't want to have to go back and weld this again. And I would rather this take the first time. So this is a little bit more appropriate heat for that flux. We'll kind of let it settle there a minute. Hopefully I can do this without dropping it in the fire. My end of those tongs are getting righteously hot. Kind of scoot that in there real easy and try to maintain that flux on the end of that chain link. Francis Whitaker said that the temperature you want for a forge weld, the color of a Coors beer can. Y'all know that yellow? Okay, that's what you want. Yes. Or a Coors bottle, either way is okay. All right, so I'm turning my link a little bit here to make sure I get heat on both sides. I got a little peephole down in my fire where I can kind of see. Put some coke up here. So you want to slow down on the blast a little bit. You don't want to drive a bunch of oxygen up into your nice weld that you're trying to make. Bring it up slow. Some people like to watch for sparks in the fire. I tend to get things too hot if I try that. Yep. All right, so we're getting real close to a welding heat. If you want to step up here and take a look in there, I'll try to. This may ruin my weld, but come right on up. Don't be shy. Look right down in that hole there. You can see the end of that chain link. Pretty much. If I move that.
I saw sparks too.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Come on, hand, grab a hold. We'll do a little rounding on the end here.
Oh,
It's okay. Don't panic. It did. Dandy Vic here. Come on, hand, close up. I like it already, Bill.
Doesn't, from what I understood what Mark said, it makes it not want to jump off the horn.
Yeah, exactly. And fall in the quench tank.
That's too fast.
Come on.
That's your horn.
Learn to forge weld when you're trying to teach yourself to forge weld. The first thing is find somebody you know that can forge weld, okay?
Yeah.
And get them to help you. All right. Don't go read a whole bunch of books.
Yeah.
Okay. Just if you see that guy make a good forge weld, then you get with him and say, I want you to teach me to forge weld. Then you do it his way. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't bring in a whole bunch of other stuff that you've read in books or heard from other people or any of that stuff. Just learn his way. And when you get to where you can master his way of doing it, then branch out all you want. Figure out your own way, okay? But if you start mixing a whole bunch of different methods together, it's going to be hard for you. Okay? So that's why I'm saying that. Not because the other guys aren't smart, they are. Blacksmiths are clever people. But find a guy who knows how to weld, get him to teach you. Bill's an excellent example. He can weld. So Bill and I got in here one day and we welded up a couple little short pistol barrels. That's no mean feat. So he's a good blacksmith, good welder. He can teach you how to weld. But just listen to Bill. Don't. If you bring 1,000 different ideas and techniques, and you're just going to get yourself all messed up. Okay,
Well,
so
I only have the information I have. Well, yeah, so you just pick one to start with. That's where you gotta go.
Yep. Okay, that little maneuver right there is asking for it because you're putting a lot of stress on that weld. All right, I think one more little heat here. I got a kink in this end of my link down here, but I'm not going to take time to go after it because we got other demos to do and other people needing to get to the forge. Hey, stick on there.
Do you want to do that demonstration of the upsetting right now?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a point where I can just stop.
That's a really cool little demonstration.